in this module, we're going to provide an overview of the basic principles that help you get started to do this. So, Dave, the first one is no plan, no clue. What's the principle there, and what does that mean?
Well, to me, this is the for the cowboys out there that think that I don't need to do this. If you don't have a plan, you're either going to over prepare every time and you're going to burn your folks out, or you're going to under prepare and you're going to spend the next several days explaining why you had no clue, right? So no plan equals no clue. You have to have even and to me, the plan doesn't need to be exact. I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but you don't have to have the perfect forecast. But you have to have an idea of a range of what's going to impact you, so you know if the worst case and the best case, and here's the most likely. That's what you plan for, the most likely. So that if it doesn't turn out like the most likely, if it's worse, you thought about it and you already know what you need to do. You might have even made some contacts up. So I'm not expecting this to be an off-property event. I'm not going to need mutual assistance. Oops, I do. You might have called somebody and say, hey, look, I'm not expecting this, but what's your resource availability? Now you picked up on, hey, remember me, Jim, this is Dave, I'm going to need your help. So that's what having a plan does. And it builds that credibility, it builds that trust, and it just goes a long way into building a cohesive team.
So when you started a plan, did you have a template? Did you kind of learn as you went? Can you talk about the how to developing a plan?
I documented everything for a couple of reasons. One, because things are moving so fast, they tend all to mix together. I really admire folks that can remember everybody's name. They can remember every single storm that they've ever been to. The dates that they happened. That's not me. To me, it's all a big blur. I mean, I responded to thousands and thousands of different storms. I need to write it down. I need to document it. The good part about it is that now that I've got it documented, when all the dust clears, now I can start building my checklist. Okay, here's what I did. Here's how I did it. Here's who needed to know, and here's when they needed to know. So now I can start building those checklists that I need to do. I got this type of event. Here's the key people I need to talk to. Here's when I need to talk to, internally and externally. And that makes sure that everybody starts, playing the same game you're playing.
Right. So from a macro standpoint, the plan can really start as a framework, right? Kind of like an outline. But it sounds to me like the plan needs to be fluid. It's going to change and grow and mature, right, as you do it. And I think people think, oh man, how do I even start planning? Well, there's templates out there, but I think that's one of the things we'll get into here is an example of a template or how you approach that, right? You've covered some of that already. So that's a big one. Let's go to the next one here. Build credibility with trust with internal and external stakeholders. I know that's a big deal. Talk about that for a minute. What is that? And then how do I do that?
Well, once you put these strategies to work for you, and you start sharing internally and externally, folks start to understand that, one, that you care, two, that you're engaging them, that you're leveraging their expertise, that you're getting their input, and they understand what they do, why it's important, and it starts building that trust. So I can tell you, when you're working in an emergency operating center and you've been there for 5, 6, 7 days, there's not a single soul that walks through that center that doesn't play a critical role. From the folks that are bringing food for you, from the folks that are helping keeping the room clean, to the folks that are going through your checklist, to the folks that are building your communication plan, every single one of those people play a critical part. And you need to understand that, you need to recognize that, and you need to let them know that they play that important part, because that's what builds that credibility, that's what builds that trust. Because if they trust in you, they will go through walls to make sure that your plan is successful. If they don't trust you, if you don't respect them, if you don't engage them, then you can say one thing and you can walk away and they're going to go back to doing whatever it is that they were doing before you walked in there, and it probably isn't what you want them to be doing. We need them to be doing it.